Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to a new video today on In the Stars. So today I'm going to be talking about Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. So if you're tuning into this video right now when I recorded it, we're a little bit, maybe about a week or two outside of the Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. I wanted to record the video and make the video as closest to the cusp as possible. So this is the closest that I could have made it. So let's get into the video, y'all. So if you're born on the Scorpio Sagittarius cusp, that means that you in astrology, when you're first and foremost, as I say, when you're researching astrology or doing a lot of research in astrology, you'll say a lot of different dates and things of those natures pop up. Most of the stuff is close to the same or somewhat to the same, but sometimes the dates can vary or change, but not by usually a large margin. So for Scorpio Sagittarius cusp, I'm sticking to the dates that I believe that the cusp run from. As I said, 3 days before, 3 days before the end of one sign, and 3 days at the beginning of the new sign. So that would be from the 19th through the 19th of November through the 24th of November if you're on the Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. So a Scorpio on the Sagittarius cusp will be more optimistic than tend to usually be more optimistic than other Scorpios, or because they have some of that Jupiterian influence beaming in on their sign than other Scorpios. They will have less pessimism, be more optimistic. They will be more jovial, more cheerful because of those because of that Jupiter influence. They would also have more shall I say more energy, or be more energetic, have more passion, even be more passionate could be more passionate than some of the other Scorpios. But it also depends on the deacons of other Scorpios, as I went through in my Scorpio deacon videos. But they can be more passionate, and blended in with the fact that the last deacon of Scorpio is the ruling planet is the moon. They can be even Scorpios on the cusp of Sagittarius can even be even more emotional, and but not as shall I say, not as fixed, not as stable as the Scorpios. They can be more changeable, or they will be more changeable because of that mutable influence that the Sagittarian energy is giving off. They can be, as I said, be more mutable, more changeable in their thinking or in their emotions. Their emotions can be a revolving door, so to speak. They can change how they feel a lot of times about things, but they will also be less vindictive than other Scorpios because of that Sagittarian influence. They will be more forgiving, or more letting things roll off of their shoulder or their sleeve, or however you put it. As I said, they'll be more cheerful, or more optimist, more of seeing the bigger picture, more assessing things thoroughly because of that philosophical nature that the Sagittarians might give off. But in all aspects, that can also, as I always say, the polar opposites of those things, or the opposites of those things, or the duality of those different things they can be more, that can even cause them to be more vindictive if you think about it, because if they have that fire that's influencing that water, what does fire and water sometimes create? It sometimes creates steam, but it also creates boil. You see what I'm saying? It creates boiling feeling, you know, boiling inside of them. What does boiling do? It's shaking, it's rupturing. So that emotion, as I said, they'll be more emotional. But if they don't, if the part of them being able to be more mutable has been debilitated some, or isn't as strong, then that could lead them to being even more vindictive, you see. Or if they are very deep thinkers, Scorpio people, if they're very deep thinking type of Scorpions, that can, as I was talking about in the Sagittarius video, they will let it go, but and they might not even be mad about a situation anymore, but later on down the line they can get reheated, that they can start boiling all over again, like that flame on them has turned that water back on. But with fire and water creates steam also, right? So that steam is all over the place. It's air, so it's burning. It's burning out, and the further it goes away, right? Or it blows away. So that changeability in them can change. But, and also, as I said before, this will allow Scorpios to be, see the picture, Scorpios on the cusp of Sagittarius, they will see, have bigger dreams or bigger goals, bigger ambitions, should I say. But they can often change in those things, or often they could find stability within those things as well because of that stable nature that's in them. But they can still have that changeability that's in them that will allow them to, you know, maybe I don't want to, you know, certain things like that. Also, these Scorpios are less likely to be, I shouldn't say less likely, but they will be less than other Scorpios when it comes to being attracted to dark things, or when I say dark things, I don't necessarily just mean like dark clothing. I also mean like dark arts, as far as cinematography, like, or reading something that's dark in nature, or things of those natures. Like, they might actually shun away from those things because they're more of optimist people. They want to see things more on the better side of things. So it can all actually conflict their thinking, because they might want to, but something else in them is telling themselves, no, I want to stay away from that, you know, or something of that nature. Or they could even find interest into occultic things, but their minds might change for the most part, as if like, nah, I'm not really into that right now, so to speak. As far as, whereas a typical Scorpion would, they could find stability within those things, whereas these Scorpio Sagittarius cusp, or Scorpios on the cusp of Sagittarius, might not. That Sagittarius influence within Scorpio cusp will also allow them to be not as clingy as other Scorpions can be, and more free, or more like to have their freedom, so to speak. So they might not cling on to relationships, whether it's friendships or intimate romantic relationships, so to speak. But just more on the, just more freer than other Scorpios. Not to say that they cannot be clingy or will not be clingy, but not as much as the other Scorpios will be. As I also said, they will be more adventurous too. That allows them to be more adventurous because they enjoy their freedom. They want to go out there and they want to do these different things because of that that hint of that burning flame is wanting them to, or is influencing them to want to go out and travel, or do things of those natures, or want to go and have fun. Anything that they consider where they can enjoy their freedom or have their freedom or be more adventurous. These are things that Scorpios on the cusp of Sagittarius will more likely be inclined to sharing or having, or, as I said, reaching out, or, admiring, wanting to do is what I'm trying to say. This will also cause them or lead to them being more stronger leaders, or more wanting to lead on the leader side in general, as I always said, or as I said in the Scorpio video, that Scorpios naturally are natural leaders, and so are Sagittarians have that natural leadership ability in them as well, because of that, because of the fire influence, as well as that Jupiterian influence that allows them to want to teach, want them to philosophize things more. So that's so those are some of the characteristics of a Scorpio on the cusp of Sagittarius. Now, for Sagittarius on the cusp of Scorpio, Sagittarius on the cusp of Scorpio will be more secretive than other Sagittarius. Like, they won't be as revealing, or won't be as I said, Sagittarius can be loose with their lips, so to speak. These Sagittarius on the cusp of Scorpio will be less inclined to be that way, because of that Scorpio influence that's holding in, or that's influencing that mysterious nature within them. So there will be more of a mysterious type of Sagittarian, or more, as I said, not wanting, or more careful with how their speech is, should I say. Not allowing to show all of themselves, whereas other Sagittarians will, sort of like that high fire energy, which is passion, energy, enthusiasm, and things of those natures, would allow them to just be pretty, out there, as far as like letting themselves be known who they are, and so to speak, and so on and so forth. Whereas these Sagittarius will be more careful when it comes to that nature. But that changeability, that mutable influence that's affecting them, or inflicting upon them, should I say, is would allow them to, they can change that. In certain settings, they might be, showing all of their cards, so to speak, or talking out of turn, or saying too much, or saying, things of those natures. These Sagittarians will also be more into the dark things, or occultic things as well, as far as astrology, or tarot readings, or dark magic, white magic, whatever the case may be. Reading dark novels, like dark fantasy type of movies, whatever, science fiction, all of those different types of things. These Sagittarians will be more inclined to being like that, because of that Pluto influence that's shining upon these Sagittarians. They will also be more serious, should I say. They'll be more serious than other Sagittarians. Not as jovial, not as playful and cheerful as other Sagittarians necessarily, but being more serious, because of that Scorpio influence that's that's influencing upon their sign. But these Sagittarians will also can be more sensitive, more emotional. You know, that's that water influence coming from Scorpio that's influencing them. You know, you're adding a little bit of water onto this flame, so it's dousing that flame out some, right? It's adding sprinkles to that fire, right? So it's could allow them to be, try to get that water up off of them, because they are being more, they're more sensitive, more emotional, as I said, because water is known to be emotional and known to be a sensitive influence or sensitive characteristic of water signs. So that water would allow these Sagittarians to be more, as I said, more sensitive, more emotional in certain things. But it also allow them to be more intuitive. Like they'll be more aware. When you're speaking of intuition, you're speaking of awareness. So you're speaking, like I said, more in tune with their surroundings, or more in tune with their emotions, or even more in tune with other traits or characteristics of even a Sagittarius, so to speak. More in tune with learning, with traveling. More in tune when it comes to freedom, or being the free spirit. So these are some of the traits that comes with Sagittarius on the cusp of Scorpio. Also, I want to say they'll be more rigid. So also what comes with that fixed sign that's influencing, a little bit of that fixed sign that's influencing these Sagittarius, they'll be more rigid, not as adaptable, not as much changeable than other Sagittarians. As I said, more serious, or more stuck in their ways. This also leads to them being more vindictive because of that more seriousness, or because of that Plutonian rays shining into the Sagittarius cusp influence. Just having a more vindictive personality, or can think about, or can ponder on things even a longer period of time than others. So they won't things won't roll off the shoulder, or they won't get over things as easily as other Sagittarians. Not that they won't still be able to smooth things out for the most part with them, or they'll be able to get over things as quickly, but they won't be able to get things over as quickly as other Sagittarius. That's exactly what I meant. But they will be more, because they will be more vindictive, should I say. They will hold on to things longer, whatever the situation at hand may be. These Sagittarians will also be more ego-driven, or not. I shouldn't say more ego-driven than all other Sagittarian counterparts, but they can be more ego-driven than other Sagittarians counterparts. But I get it more to ego, because that kind of relates to the third deacon in Sagittarius. But I get into that in my Sagittarius deacon video. But they will also be more, they can be more seductive because of that Scorpio influence. More rebellious, because of that free-spirited, on top of that free-spirited nature, on top of that overall Scorpio boss-like mentality, included with that high energy and high passion. They will also be more determined, more stable, and overall just more loyal in general. these Sagittarians could be more the most loyal out of the other Sagittarian counterparts because of that nature of Scorpio wanting to or that loyal nature of Scorpio. What am I saying here? That's all. So that was really it for today's video on Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. I hope you guys liked the video. As always, if you did, press the like button, press the description box if you want to follow me on my social medias. Click the comment box to write something down below, whatever, and click the subscription button if you want to stay in tune for future videos. I hope you guys liked it again, and also, and as always, thank you for your time, and until next time, peace and love, y'all. All right.